You're just addicted to the live, dude.
Yep. It's what it's all about right now.
That's what the kids are doing.
It's a
They're,
cool
s-
thing to do,
they're
you
smoking
know.
that crack.
No kids, don't do that.
Wait, are we live?
We are live on YouTube. I'm trying to get on Instagram right now. It's saying checking connection, um, whatever that means.
Means you need a new connection, dude.
I don't know how that's even possible. Um,
Do you have Suddenlink or what?
Sudden, you mean CenturyLink? No,
Is it-
I have Cox.
No, Suddenlink is out in Arizona too.
Oh, is it?
Or at least, yeah, or at least it was in Havasu. You have Cox?
Yeah, I have Cox.
Cox Cable?
Dude, it's not good.
No, it's not.
Anyone who's on here. Good morning, Antonio. What's up, buddy? Thank you for joining us here. We're just waiting a couple minutes. It's not quite 9 o'clock. Just waiting a couple minutes to get people in here. I'm trying to connect on Instagram, but for some reason,
You want me to try and then have you?
yeah, that'll work. So, should be a really good day of football. I'm excited for today. Got some really good matchups. Got some good whisper wagers going on. Got some other types of bets going on here.
There we go.
Hey,
All right. Good morning, Instagram. Good morning, YouTube as well.
oh,
As
you were
Johnny
able to.
said,
You were
but
able
we
to.
are live. The Fantasy Whispers here. Uh, if Johnny will quit talking over my intro. No, just kidding. What's going on? What's up, John Anderson here? Hey guys, how's it going? Sean, thanks for joining in. Jacob Blay, all of our favorites are here. Thanks for joining in. And we are going to get this lineup question started here. Obviously, we've got
All
a
right.
bit of news.
Oh, there we go. All right, your boy finally got it.
Yeah.
So we're good. We're good.
Can welcome in as far as the eye can see. Kevin, welcome in. Got some people pouring in now.
There we
Welcome
go.
in.
People are just about as jacked as we are, Big Travie.
More Marquise. What's going on, guys? Hope everybody's out there celebrating Halloween safely. Uh, if you're celebrating, that's a good question, Johnny. I'll just start with that. What's the when's the proper, like, this is a kind of a weird
Yeah.
Halloween. Do you celebrate after? Do you dress up after,
I
or do you
think
dress up
here's
before?
the thing. I think as we get older, adults love Halloween. It's such a great holiday. So we end up expanding it like 3 weekends. You hit it as many times. You try to make good use of that costume. Speaking of costume, Big Travi had a good one last night. Bob Ross looked
Yeah,
great.
painting some happy trees. I do want to give a shout out to Sean. He's probably in here. Sean Crilly. He's in another league, the You Gonna Learn Today league with me, and he was actually my inspiration for Bob Ross. I saw him rocking that costume. So
Oh, so what you're saying is you copied?
imitation is the highest form of flattery,
Unreal, dude.
Johnny.
Wow, unreal. All
Yeah,
right, do you want to start? We got some questions rolling in here.
yeah. Let's
You
do
want to?
it.
All right. Well, we'll start with Antonio. This guy jumped on YouTube. We appreciate you. Hey, if you're not on YouTube, Instagram, Whisper Nation, please head on over to our oh my gosh, I can't even speak to them. Please head on over to our YouTube channel. Hit that like and subscribe. Hit the little bell. It'll notify you anytime we go live or we release a new video. We'd greatly appreciate it. All right, we've got Tevin Coleman or Odell Standard for my flex spot. Now, there is reports that weather could be a little bit nasty in New England. So what are
Yeah,
you thinking? I already said Tevin Coleman was an RB2 this week.
yeah. I love
It's
Tevin Coleman's
crazy.
matchup.
It's crazy we are even considering this. That's how
Yeah,
upside down this fantasy season has been, Travis.
I think I don't want any part of, you know. Yeah, I'm gonna roll probably Tevin Coleman here. I
Yeah,
think Tevin
I think so
Coleman's in
too.
a great matchup. I think they're a run heavy team. They're run oriented, and that defense gives them the ball back. quite
Yeah.
a bit.
Yeah,
So
so I'm
we've
gonna go
got
Tevin Coleman there too as well.
we got 49ers D or Denver D. I think you got to start. I mean, you'd be starting 49ers, not against. You don't want Denver's on the road against the Colts. That's not a good matchup.
Yeah, you don't want that one.
Non PPR flex: OBJ, Marvin Jones, or Carlos Hyde. Let's see. So Houston plays Oakland in a pretty
Sorry,
good matchup.
what were the three again? OBJ,
It's
Marvin Jones,
OBJ
or Carlos
or
Hyde?
Carlos Hyde, non PPR, so it is standard. I'm actually, this just sounds gross. Once again, upside down a little bit. I'm going to say Carlos Hyde here. I think Hyde's gotten consistent carries. They're in a game where they're favored against Oakland. I think he's the good spot. And then you got OBJ, who you'd normally love to start here, but he's going up against Stephon Gilmore, who has probably been the best corner in the NFL this year.
And
so
what we just talked about in very bad weather situation.
Yeah.
I would probably go Carlos Hyde there. A couple of key notes, Travis, before we probably should start off with this, but Christian Kirk is active.
Yeah.
So
well, that brings us into our next question here. Jacob Blay asks if he's a good play this week.
Now, I would not play him this week. He should get Marcus Lattimore, who has been locking down wide receivers. I think this actually bodes well for Larry Fitzgerald. But coming off that injury, they did hold him out an extensive amount of time. He should be near 100% by now. But I wouldn't feel confident starting Christian Kirk week 1. Better days ahead, though, for him. And it actually might end up being a nice buy low opportunity after this week. A lot of owners probably are holding on to him, thinking they're going to wait until he comes back. If he comes back and has a dud, we all know who he is up against. But your opponent might not. So you just might think, oh, well, I waited all this time. He's not going to be a good wide receiver anymore, and it might be a good buy low opportunity. David Johnson. Oh, go ahead. Sorry, Travis.
I think depending on like what you've got going on, you may want to look at Kirk. Only because New Orleans, yes, Marshawn Lattimore has shut people down the last few weeks, but as a whole defense, they're averaging nearly 38, 39 points given up to wide receiver. So they've actually surrendered it quite a bit to the wide receiver. And this is going to be a game where Arizona's going to have to throw. So depending on what else you have on the bench, like given buys and injuries, you may want to look at Kirk. But yeah, to Johnny's point, it's not the best matchup.
Yeah. A couple other things. So I went on Instagram Live last night, and I talked about how DJ is ruled out for not only today's game, but also Thursday's game against the 49ers. So make sure you get Chase Edmonds in your lineup as well. He should have a big workload. Alfred Morris was not even active today, so they only have Zach Zenner as their backup running back behind Chase Edmonds. So Chase Edmonds should have a very big game.
And Chase Edmonds being used in the receiving game, you got to love that his floor will stay high there.
Yep.
Keenan Allen will be active. Yeah, Johnny. What's your confidence level that he plays a full slate of snaps?
I think it's pretty low. I think that they activate him because they need wide receiver depth. They don't have a lot right now. Travis Benjamin is on IR. You're looking at BMW is a little bit banked up. So I think this is going to be a huge Austin Eckler day and a huge Hunter Henry day. BMW should be a very solid wide receiver too today. But yeah,
we got a little. This is a hybrid. It's a little bit of a relationship advice mixed in with fantasy.
Hey, that's what we're here for.
Says, do I have a better chance with Drew Brees breaking 30 points or finding love in the bathroom at Wendy's? Please advise.
I think it's Drew Brees finding 30 fantasy points today due to the fact that they are going against Arizona Cardinals, whose defense has been giving up a lot to wide receivers. Now we did get Patrick Peterson back, but it's still far cry from a really good defense. Drew Brees.
You got any?
I'm sorry. Maybe if you went like a higher establishment, you might.
Yeah, maybe like a Sizzler bathroom.
Yeah.
You might want to try that. So I just want to note here, we had a question about does anyone know if Josh Jacobs is in or not? Ian Rappaport is reporting, so that's pretty trustworthy here, that he's he's expected to play in Week 8. So
Yeah, they're gonna
you
shoot
could
him up
fire
with
him
that
up.
juice, that
Oh,
AC. They had that AC. Remember, dude? Do you remember the what was NFL Blitz when your guy would get knocked
yeah,
out and then
they
you
get
could juice
steroids.
him? You could
Yeah,
juice him. Oh
yeah.
man, that was great. Yeah, so
Uh,
I expect him to be good to go today. We had a question on our Instagram. Someone DM'd us and asked about trading Josh Jacobs for Chris Carson, and I told him yes, make that trade right now. And he was like, even with the schedule with Chris Carson, I was like, yes, you have Josh Jacobs who's injured. He's already dealing with this. It's not going to get better because he's going to continue to play with it. So definitely Chris Carson.
this was the concern about Jacobs coming in. We hadn't seen a lot of him usage wise in college, and now it looks like a lot of this usage could be taking its toll on him.
Yeah.
So we've got a full point PPR B_U Roots. He says, "What's up, Whispers? What's going on, man? Thanks for joining." Full point PPR, Evan Ingram or Hunter Henry. Give me Evan Ingram. I continue to think that Evan Ingram is the guy that you should be playing above him here. I
Uh,
know,
I
I
would
know that
actually,
Henry. I
yeah.
know that Henry's been good lately, but I really like what I mean without Shepard in the lineup, and I think that you can't. It's hard to get against Detroit's corners. They have really good corners, so the wide receivers may struggle. Where I think Ingram over the middle could be really good here for the Giants.
I would go Hunter Henry here for the fact that Keenan Allen's banged up. Uh, they don't have very many wide receiver options. Hunter Henry's been a very solid. If there's a way you can get both these guys in your lineup, I actually wouldn't mind starting both these guys, especially in a PPR league. All right,
Yeah.
we got one here. Gardner Minshew or Mason Rudolph. Mason Rudolph has a very juicy matchup against the Miami Dolphins on Monday night. Gardner Minshew been balling out. Which one you got? Big Travie
What was the other one? Gardner Minshew or who?
or Mason Rudolph?
Oh, give me Minshew. Mason is a little bit more sketch. I know that matchup's really good. I mean, listen, the Dolphins I don't think have allowed less than 20 points. Like that's their standard given up to the QB. But I just trust Minshew a little bit more. Seen it more consistently out of him to play really good football. And I think his connection with DJ Shark makes him capable of getting to a higher ceiling than Mason Rudolph.
Totally agree.
Let's see. Let's dig through here. Need an RB1 and a flex. Melvin Gordon, Tevin Coleman, Shark, and Sutton. Ooh, these are pretty good. I think for your running back, you should go with Coleman here.
Yes.
I know Melvin Gordon is a name, and we want to keep the faith with him, but Eckler's just looked better. Bottom line, he has looked better, and they seem to be wanting to use him more. And with the way the offense is working, Eckler is more of a weapon for them being used in the receiving game. As Johnny mentioned, they're kind of down all those weapons, so or at least they're dinged up. So I like that. And then as far as your flex, I think DJ Shark is the one you got to go with here. Sutton's great, and with Sanders gone, he should get a ton of targets. But I trust the targets coming from Minshew, like I mentioned before I'm trusting Joe Flacco at this point in his career.
And also, you got to think too that defenses might roll over a little bit more over to Sutton and double him with Sanders out. Sanders shipped out. Hamilton, Deshaun Hamilton, I actually think that he's not a bad stash. If you want to pick him up, don't start him today, but not a bad stash. All right, Trey Tillman. Oh, sorry, you have something?
Yeah, well, I'm playing DJ O'Toole too in the You Gonna Learn Today league. So he's got a question for you, Johnny. He doesn't want to ask me because he thinks I'll be.
Oh,
biased.
So
he says Philip Rivers or Brissett.
Oh, I'm going Jacoby Brissett here. Stay in the flames with Jacoby. I do not like Philip Rivers against Chicago today. Listen, I understand Chicago's defense hasn't been what it was last year, and it's not even close. But you can't trust Philip Rivers, especially with Keenan Allen and banged up, all of that. And I actually could see them running a little bit more today because that D-line for the Bears has been giving up a lot of chunk plays. All right, Trey Tillman, thank you, buddy, for jumping on. This is another one of our regulars. Appreciate you jumping on Sunday morning. Good. He says, "Good morning, fellas. I unfortunately started Kirk Cousins. Hey, I was right there with you, buddy. It's frustrating for sure, but flex Tate or Stills. I have Cup and Edelman PPR league. I'm wondering if it's Golden Tate or Aubrey Tate. I'm
It's
assuming Golden Tate, right?
Yeah, I would think so. I'm gonna go Stills here. I think that
Yeah.
Stills is in a really prime matchup against Oakland, and he showed some chemistry already. They traded for Stills. They have visions of what Stills can be for this offense, and with Fuller down, he's essentially going to take Fuller's job here
Yeah, and
in this role.
he should get plenty of opportunities today. He's going up against Pro Football Focus second worst matchup today, or second best matchup, I should say, for him.
John and underscore son says, do I start Mike Williams, Calvin Ridley, or Melvin Gordon in a PPR league, or do I pick up and start Devontae Parker? I wouldn't be starting any Dolphins if I could help it. It looks like you can. Is Mike Williams in? He's just dinged up, right?
Yeah, he's just dinged up. Although I will say Devontae Parker has been quietly balling out over there in Miami. He's had a touchdown, I believe, in the last 3 games. But again, it's
the last 2, but yeah,
it is difficult, or maybe it's 3 of the last 4, something like that. It is difficult to trust a Miami Dolphin for sure. So I do like your options here, though, in a PPR.
It is last 3 straight games. I just think that Pittsburgh's defense has been quietly really good over the last few weeks. So I don't,
ever
especially
since
with
they got
Minkah Fitzpatrick.
Yeah.
I'd say Mike Williams here. I know the matchup isn't great, but I would be rolling Mike Williams over those two in a full point PPR. I think similar to like Johnny's saying, I think the two guys that Rivers has been able to get it to with their line situation has been Mike Williams and Hunter Henry. So
yeah, I would agree with that.
Jamal Williams or Devin Singletary, Johnny?
Jamal Williams, for sure. Kansas City has been giving up a ton to the running backs over there. And if you checked out our show this past week, Big Travie and I had a really good debate on there. And I believe that Green Bay Packers will come out and want to run the ball and control the clock here. And so I would say Jamal Williams is the guy that I would roll with. And also, Singletary had a prime juicy matchup last week against Miami, and you couldn't trust him. So I think it's going to be a couple more weeks before we'll truly see what Singletary will be like.
Okay, so Jacob Blay 92 says Dorsett or Miles Sanders here. So Johnny, what's your thought process on these two? We've talked about the weather in New England being a factor here.
This is you do actually like Miles Sanders this week. It's a tough matchup, but I think I'm going to agree with that just because of the weather. Dorsett, hasn't been getting a ton of targets. Mohamed Sanu, I actually expect him to have out of all the you got Julian Edelman over there, but he is a little bit banged up as well. But I just don't trust Dorsett to get the workload that Miles Sanders would get. And so I would go with Miles Sanders over Dorsett in this.
Yeah, you look at what Buffalo's done. They've been really good against the ground game, but they have given up some receiving yardage and some receiving touchdowns in this year. So I think that this could be a game where Sanders is going to be used in the passing game and could have those big plays.
Mm-hmm. All right. RAG RAG. Sorry. Well, I'm trying to read and then read his question. He says, I have Josh Allen and John Brown.
Okay.
With a nasty face. Yeah, I mean, it's a little bit unfortunate because
I love that matchup this week. They're playing Philly. Philly's been toasted in the secondary.
Yeah,
John Brown's been so good lately.
What he's referring to, Travis, is the initial start of the game. The weather is not good. The weather system that is in Buffalo right now is supposed to work its way to New England. That's why that whole situation is what it is.
Oh, I see.
But they are expecting that to clear up shortly into the game. So I think you're going to be fine with Josh Allen, John Brown. That's a really good matchup. So I would roll him out still.
Cheesehead Packer Nation says Russ Wilson or Breeze. Russ, right? Yeah, basically you want to stick with Russell
Yeah.
Wilson here.
Don't get
His
Cooper here.
Yeah, don't get Q. We like that Breeze is back against AZ, but you got to go with Russ Wilson.
This is a good one. Tyler Jarrett, Jacobs or Murray PPR. So Alvin Kamara ruled out.
I'm going Latavius Murray.
Yeah.
I just think that Houston's defense hasn't been anything to be scared of, but we've got the injury risk with Josh Jacobs, and Latavius Murray got 20. I think it was like 27 carries last week, at least 27 touches. So you like what Murray's doing, and Arizona has been really bad against the run in spots and games this year. So I'd be rolling up with Latavius Murray.
Yeah, I think so as well. He would also get passing work as well for them, and he has that ability. So with Jacobs banged up, and if you're looking at Vegas, although I don't believe this spread is accurate, but they're saying 12.5 favorites for New Orleans, which would indicate that the run script would be a little bit heavier in that, whereas Oakland will probably be down in their matchup. So I would go. Yeah, they're gonna be down against Houston. So Murray.
Okay, so we've got. Do I start Keenan Allen from Emerson_Sims? Do I start Keenan Allen over Jamison Crowder?
I would start Crowder over Keenan Allen.
I think that's not a bad play. You look at Chicago's been really good against the wide receivers. They've just been good on defense when they're locked in. I think they're gonna be locked in this game. Obviously, Los Angeles has struggled, and we've already heard that he would be on a snap count from beat writers if he was in there. So yeah, you can fire up Jamison Crowder there. This is another good one. Marvin Jones or Mike Williams in PPR, Johnny.
Give me Mike Williams. I'm not sold that what we saw. And listen, I know a lot of people. We've been getting a lot of questions.
I just love this matchup against New York. I mean, they've just been getting beat up by wide receivers.
And I understand that, but Marvin Jones does this each and every year. He'll pop off. Yeah. He'll be great. Everyone starts him, and then the next week he duds. And
yeah, it does feel like you're chasing a little bit of points here, but I'm gonna disagree. I'm gonna take the matchup here for Marvin Jones. I think I'd be rolling with that. I do love Mike Williams, but I think Marvin Jones has a better cake spot here. I guess it would depend on what you needed there, Michael. If you need the upside, I'd be playing Marvin Jones. If you needed a floor, I think Mike Williams is more of a sure bet to be involved in his offense.
I could see like Mike Williams for sure getting about
but let's
PPR,
say you
like 10 points.
Yeah, let's say you played against Dalvin Cook on Thursday and you feel like you need to make up those points. I would probably be rolling with Marvin Jones here.
I agree with that philosophy.
Should I start Daniel Jones, Carson Wentz, or Sam Darnold?
Ooh, Carson Wentz, definitely don't start him today against Buffalo. Buffalo has been really good against quarterbacks. Sam Darnold, don't mind his matchup. It's decent. And I'm not – listen, yeah, I would go Sam Darnold here. Daniel Jones hasn't done anything since his very first start. He hasn't been very good fantasy-wise. Carson Wentz, like we said, has a bad matchup against Buffalo. And so I would go Sam Darnold.
All right. And Tyler Boyd or Odell Beckham?
Tyler Boyd. Oh, God. That sounds horrible.
Yeah, I am fading all of Cleveland if I can help it this week. I do not love the weather, the matchup, or any of that. I think this is going to be a situation where, I mean, New England just kind of rolls, but we will see what happens there. John, you got anything more from YouTube over there?
Yeah, I got start 3. Golladay, Godwin, Cooks, Brown, and Thomas. So I'm assuming that's Michael Thomas and John Brown. I would go Godwin.
Golladay and Godwin have to be in there.
Yeah, and then
Michael Thomas.
I understand that he is going against Patrick Peterson, but it's Drew Brees, so the quality of targets are going to be much better. I would, again, temper your expectations.
Plus, everybody knows what Michael Thomas's Twitter handle is. Can't guard Mike, dude.
Now that you just said that, he's going to get completely shut down, and then it's going to Dude, Patrick Peterson's no joke.
Yeah, he should be with all those steroids.
Hey, it's a diuretic. It's a common thing over here in Arizona. All right. I think we got a couple. Do we have any more? No, that's it.
No, that's it on Instagram.
Oh,
you got anything else?
Dylan said he didn't hear. Did you?
Oh
all
yeah,
get
he was
the-
asking about the QB. We answered the QB one.
Yeah,
He was
so
asking
we
about
said
Wentz.
Sam Darnold.
Yeah, Sammy D.
All right.
Oh,
Well,
who let the dogs out?
yeah. Charlie's getting excited because we got about 35 minutes until kickoff, so he's getting
All
excited.
right, Whisper Nation, as always, like and subscribe wherever you can. We're on every social media platform. We appreciate the support, and we will be back with you guys getting you that reaction episode this week. So stay tuned. Love you, Whisper Nation. That's Johnny Game Time Hicks, and I'm Big Travie. We're out. Peace.